go to land where the skies are wide and the freedom stands, with a Bible in my hand and a prayer in my heart, living this life where the wild plays its part. Dust on my boots and my hat pulled low, got my trusty rifle and I'm ready to go. Hunting the game as the sun hits the sky, in the heart of the 701 I feel so alive. Guns and the 701, that's how we roll. Faith in the good Lord, that's how we hold the line of the legacy that runs through our veins. In this wild, wild land where the spirit remains, we're living free, living bold side by side, with God on our plate and our hearts open wide. Ranching the fields, the cattle run free, with a purpose so strong, it's our grand legacy. The rivers run deep as we cast out our lines, fishing the waters where the North Star shines. Got the warmth of the sun with the chill of the night, with every shot fired we're ready to fight for the freedom we cherish. The second is true, with family beside us we stand through and through. Guns and the 701, that's how we roll. Faith in the good Lord, that's how we hold the line of the legacy that runs through our veins. In this wild, wild land where the spirit remains, we're living free, living bold side by side, with God on our plate and our hearts open wide. In a world that's spinning with sins that they wield, we stick to our values, our fate is revealed. With the word as our guide, we tread on the earth, a community built from the love, not the curse. Raising our voices, singing loud through the night, for God and our freedom, we'll continue the fight. Let the rifles ring out, let the spirits align, in North Dakota's embrace, our souls intertwine. So when you hear the gunshots and feel that proud sound, know it's faith and freedom that echoes around, from the fields of the ranch to the depths of the lake. With God on our side, there's nothing at stake. Guns and the 71, forever we'll stand, in the heart of our faith, in this great free
Anything else we're not supposed to do on Friday the 13th?
Probably cross paths with a black cat, things like that.
Right. I mean, which I don't like to do anyway.
I don't know. I got married on the 13th, so I guess that worked out.
Was it a Friday?
It wasn't, but it was a Saturday.
I've never understood why Friday. I would think Monday the 13th would be terrible, because we all hate Mondays, and it's the 13th, so it's like a double hate.
Yeah, I guess I'm not superstitious enough. It's just another day to me.
I like to think I'm not superstitious, but then I start looking over my shoulder to see what's going to happen. So I don't know. Play it safe anyway, just in case, right?
Yeah.
I have not opened an umbrella indoors since the 80s when I lived in Tacoma, Washington, so...
Nice.
In fact, I haven't owned an umbrella since I lived in Tacoma, Washington. So,
oh my God.
Those are a way of life out there. Heck, we used to put at Pacific Lutheran University, when you went in, like, many of the buildings, particularly, I guess, the student union where the cafeteria was, because you didn't want to have to carry an umbrella around in the cafeteria and make it wet and have people slip and fall anyway. Not to mention the inconvenience. Yeah. So there was an umbrella rack there. And it was just the honor system. I mean, you put your umbrella there, and you're assuming it's going to be there when you get done. And I never heard of anybody losing their umbrella there, but
yeah, no, I don't know. I was out to Seattle once in that same state. I don't know. It was kind of rainy out there, but it wasn't horrible. But you know what? I don't need to ever probably get there again. I'm good.
Well, they weren't living in tents by I-5 when I lived there, so.
Oh, when we went down through the underpasses in downtown, and we were heading to the stadium, which I didn't want to go to, but hey, it's a whole nother story. Anyway, you should have seen it. It was horrible underneath there. I was like, wow.
Oh yeah. I mean, it was run down when I lived there in the 83, 4, early 85, I guess. But not tent city.
Yeah, it was. Really, really populated under there. It's like,
yeah,
wow.
Exactly.
I'm sure that not everybody's story is the same. Some, I'm sure, it's by choice. I know that sounds weird to some, but there are people that live that way by choice because they just have disconnected from society. And then you got those that, who knows what the circumstances that brought it. It's really sad to see, honestly. But I don't know how you solve that because some people don't want help. And it's just too bad.
Well, and wasn't Chaz Chop, and does it still exist? Wasn't that right in front of a police station?
Yep.
What is it with police stations? I mean, Seattle and Minneapolis with 3rd Precinct Police Station on Lake Street that's still sitting there abandoned.
Yeah, if you or I did that, I don't know why one side gets away with it and one doesn't.
Yeah.
Let's just face it. That's what happens.
Yeah, imagine if we just decided to leave our homes and board them up and put a big chain link fence around it and then just leave it.
Yeah. Well, look at Minneapolis. They've got checkpoints in the streets that they've made themselves. Yeah, that for one, that wouldn't fly very good around here.
Yeah. Imagine that. Cedar Riverside. Now, if you're a white supremacist, you're not supposed to go there.
It's insane. We have, what's the point of having laws? Not that all of them are perfect or some of them are probably even constitutional, but we do, for the most part, have a lawful society. But if you don't enforce them, I guess then what? You can't pick and choose. You got to apply it equally.
MLK Day, I went back and played which I will do frequently on MLK Day, the I Have a Dream speech. And I think it's something that people need to go back and get a refresher. This was not what he was trying to get accomplished at all.
Very much, yeah. When you look at that speech and look at how it's applied to that was not his vision.
No, the Selma, Alabama march was not about what's going on now. The Million Man March in D.C. No, that was not what this was about.
It's been hijacked, and we went off on a different path, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It's been hijacked, and all you got to do is, I hate giving this thing press, but Saul Alinsky wrote a book, How to Do This, Rules for Radicals. And if you look at that and read that, it is the playbook they're using, and they hijack really good movements from the past and basically twist it to their ideology. And this is what you get today. And then the indoctrination that's going on in a lot of schools to our children through decades. This isn't new. This has been happening since the 60s. And it has a long history. I'll give the other side this. They're united, well-organized, and very patient.
Not only that, but it's more proof that all the big trends start in Bismarck, Mandan. Remember Dapple? Dress rehearsal for future activity in Minneapolis and whatnot.
Yeah, I have a vivid memory of that. In fact, I was flying in and out of the airport for NRA at that time, especially in December. Imagine this. You have a bunch of people flying in that are rioters. I don't call them protesters because they were there to inflict riot and
Yes.
and disarray and an array of other things. And then you've got the NFR going on. A lot of people flying in and out of there that are good, salt of the earth, ranch egg producers, just going to have a good time. And then you got these people, very rude. I remember I was flying in, very rude people. Well, let's just say it didn't go well down around the luggage area when we returned. And I mean, there was one old boy, he just grabbed the guy and said, grabbed him right by the neck. I'm surprised TSA or somebody didn't show up, but the guy was being very rude. Grabbed him by the neck and was like, "You over there." And it was funny because that kind of, it helped all of us help these people go stand in the back and behave. I'll just put it that way.
Sometimes it's like with children. I mean, sometimes you just need to put them in their corner, and
I mean, yeah,
you don't come out until we tell you to come out. That kind of thing.
I mean, they were really pushing aside, our elderly that were trying to get their baggage. They were just, in your face. Yeah, a bunch of us had enough.
Yeah.
And that was the end of it. There was another peep there the rest of the time I was there until we all got our bags and left. Who knows what happened? But yeah, it's like, welcome to the real world. And,
yes.
We don't put up with that. Yeah.
No kidding. Clay Peterson, Guns in the 701. That's the pre-show. The real show is next.
ABC. Wish life was all fun and games? At Chumba Casino, it is. Play hundreds of free social casino games. No downloads needed. Want the chance to redeem incredible prizes? Why wait? Play your way, anytime, any place. Only at ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Raise the rudders! Raise the sails! Raise the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that an Enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. Start converting your B2B audience today. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started today at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Attention parents. Watch your child go from ABCs to confident readers in just 30 days with Hooked on Phonics. It only takes 15 minutes a day to unlock the most important life skill for their future, reading. We transform kids no matter their starting point with fun lessons, catchy songs, and guaranteed results. One grade level jump or your money back. Right now, get free access to Hooked on Math and Spelling apps plus your first month for just $1. Visit hookedonphonics.com today and unleash your child's reading potential.
America, America, you used to be so fun, but now you go to bed at night scrolling on your phone. Well, listen up, America, Carnival is here. There's comedy and snorkeling and dining, like everything from sea to shining sea.
Find your fun again today. Carnival is calling.
Save up to 40% off your cruise vacation. Offer applies to cruise fare only. Restrictions apply. Visit carnival.com for details. Ships registry: the Bahamas and Panama.
Across the U.S., there's a shortage of more than 400,000 skilled trade workers in HVAC, electrical, construction, and more. Now's a great time to take that first step towards a career in the trades. It's a path that offers stability, growth, and purpose to build something real that lasts. The Lowe's Foundation works alongside a network of partners that help people learn more about careers in the skilled trades. Build your future today. Visit lowesfoundation.org to learn more about careers in the skilled trades and explore our partner network. Workforce and estimates are based on a January 2025 report from the Associated Builders and Contractors.
The big game commercials are basically must-see TV. This year, Elf Cosmetics went all out with an absurdly funny telenovela called Melissa. It stars Melissa McCarthy, Nicholas Gonzalez, Itati Cantoral, and Elf Glow Reviver Lip Oil. The Elf Glow Reviver Lip Oil is an ultra-glossy tinted lip oil that nourishes, hydrates, and enhances your lips' natural color.
Watch the full episode of their new Elf novela on soyunbaño.com.
You know what they say. Early bird gets the ultimate vacation home. Book early and save over $120 with Vrbo. Because early gets you closer to the action, whether it's waves lapping at the shore or snoozing in a hammock that overlooks, well, whatever you want it to. So you can all enjoy the payoff come summer with Vrbo's early booking deals. Rise and shine. Average savings $141. Select homes only.
Hi, I'm North Dakota Tax Commissioner Brian Crocius. If you're a North Dakota homeowner, you could reduce your 2026 property tax bill by up to $1,600 with the primary residence credit. There are no age or income restrictions. Simply go to tax.nd.gov/PRC and apply no later than the April 1st deadline. Remember, in order to be eligible to receive the credit, you must apply by the April 1st deadline. Don't wait, apply today.
Farming comes with trade-offs. An extra pass means dinner in the cab. An early morning becomes a late night. Unnecessary restrictions turn into headaches. But when you make Enlist herbicides the foundation of your herbicide program, the trade-offs will be in your favor. Effective weed control that's ready to work when you are. Flexible tank makes options and neighbor-friendly applications, all without the need to jump through hoops. See what you'll gain with America's most trusted herbicide system protecting your Enlist E3 soybean fields at Enlist.com.
824 Guns in the 701. Now we're on to the real show, and it turns out the Canadian provinces will stand up to the government up there.
Yeah, that's why I thought, let's talk about this, because I don't think anybody's talking about it. And let's face it, it's kind of related to North Dakota because they're just across the border. I mean, it's just a line, right? And everybody knows Canada's been horrible about gun control and trying buybacks, and we've had that discussion. You can't really buy back something you never owned, but that's government. They fail to actually have reason or even common sense a lot of times. Well, they had their pilot program. That failed. And, I guess a lot of people sent a message. They must have got a hold of their people that were in power in those provinces and said, we ain't doing this. Half of the provinces have said, we are not participating in this new, essentially gun control confiscation. They're not buybacks. They're just a very low compensated confiscation, and that's what it is. And basically, all of them, pretty much half of them said, nope, we aren't doing it. And only Quebec, British Columbia, the Maritimes, and Nunavut, they said that they wouldn't participate. They're the only ones that haven't said they wouldn't participate. So you got the majority of them provinces up there saying, nope, we're not going for this. We've had enough. They're finally drawing a line in the sand. And I don't know, Todd. I mean, we've got a ton of NRA members. You got a ton of the other, pro-Second Amendment advocate groups. Ton of members, actually. It'd be surprising to most how many live in Canada, because they've been dealing with this, honestly, since the 90s. A lot of people that don't keep up on this have just slowly been going, and they started out with handguns, and they went to certain rifles. And I mean, it's just that slow creep. They had registration, which is why we always say no registration, because it leads to confiscation. Australia, Canada are two great examples of that. And I am very proud of those people up there going, nope, we are not going to do this. And they basically, if you go back, if you go aside from the article I sent you, you go look at some of what these statements are by some of these people that lead those provinces. The one guy did say, go pound sand. That's my favorite thing. I was like, hey, he must have heard me, right? He must be watching Guns in the 701.
Well, yeah. Where else would that idea come from, for crying out loud?
Yeah, and those evil-looking assault weapons, and that, yeah. I think it's funny. They did this test, and there's conflicting reports, but I'll go with this one. They wanted to confiscate 200 prohibited guns in Cape Breton. Well, guess what? They got 16. But as government goes, and then their media isn't near. I mean, we've got our own problem with some of the drive-by media in this country, but theirs is even worse up there. Well, those sources out there, and I went and looked up one, they called it a resounding success, just like the article said. They're like, wow. So you got your public safety department putting out propaganda talking about the success of 16 that were actually turned in. And then you got the minister of this whole program. He gets out and goes, the pilot hadn't been reaching our quantitative targets. So, I'm like, really? Wasn't a failure. it wasn't a
Stop
failure.
with the word salad stuff, you guys. Come on.
Well, yeah, I mean, are they talking to Kamala? I mean, that sounds like it wasn't great because it was great, and then it wasn't great.
Poor Kamala. Every time somebody says word salad, that's the first thought that pops into everybody's head, no matter which side of the aisle you're on. Kamala.
That our unsuccessful efforts were successful. And we're very, very proud of the quantitative target that we did reach. I mean, how stupid that is.
Yeah, if you can't dazzle them with diamonds, baffle them with bull. You know the saying, right?
When you think about it, their target was 200. They got 16. 8%. I wouldn't say that's a fail anywhere. 8%.
Well, no doubt. No doubt. And jumping around a bit, but because you have it on your agenda, and I'm just thinking, why would we not bring this up right now? Canada, anti-gun, but had a mass shooting. How can that happen? They're anti-gun up there.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that, too.
Yeah. We come back, also South Dakota, and what's Wyoming thinking?
I don't know.
We're all on the way.
Yeah.
Now, don't forget, this is the show where you learned first about American Columbia
in
the Trump-attempted 51st state. Well, you can take Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Alberta. And we can take part of British Columbia and rename it American Columbia.
Oh, my goodness.
You thought the Gulf of America got people mad. Wait till American Columbia gets designated.
That would be fun.
Mitchell in the morning. KFYR 550, 99.7 at iHeartRadio.
A dry weekend ahead, but looking ahead, a gradual cooling trend, increasing chances for rain and snow in the forecast into the middle of next week. More from the National Farm Machinery Show, and a beef quality grading system first developed in Australia now, inspiring change elsewhere. Todd Mitchell in for Shannon Dean with the Dakota Farm and Ranch Report.
Simplot Grower Solutions is a full-service agronomy retail store with locations in Napoleon and Wishick. We provide ag application services in spraying and fertilizer spreading. Simplot Grower Solutions has 4 crop advisors to help with all your agricultural needs. Simplot offers seed, crop care, crop nutrition, and fertilizer. Call today or check out our website, simplotgrowersolutions.com. Simplot Grower Solutions. We are committed to your success over the long run because we know that farming is more than your job. It's your legacy.
KFYR.
The 60th National Farm Machinery Show got underway Wednesday, marking its 60th year with new equipment and technology. Kubota drew attention with 2 new high-capacity small square balers, the SSB 2014 and the SSB 2012, built around a patented dual-chamber design. The balers split, incoming crop into 2 chutes, forming bales simultaneously with independent knotters and up to 100 plunger strokes per minute. Kubota said the design can produce 850 to 900 bales an hour, effectively replacing 2 machines with 1. They'll arrive at dealerships this spring. The National Farm Machinery Show runs through tomorrow. Farmers and crop advisors can get the latest research guidance on dry bean production during NDSU Extension's Getting It Right in Dry Bean Production webinar. On Tuesday, it's an online-only Zoom session from 8:30 till noon. NDSU agronomists will cover white mold management, weed control, inoculation tips, and a market outlook, and a live Q&A after each segment. Extension agronomist Anna Sarcedo said last year's heavy white mold pressure highlighted the need for updated recommendations heading into the 2026 season. Certified crop advisors can earn continuing education credits. The event's free, but you do need to get registered at ndsu.ag/GIR-dry-bean-26. And a beef quality grading system first developed in Australia, now inspiring change across Europe. Australia's Meat Standards Australia program boosted that nation's high-quality beef sector for decades, generating more than 400 million Australian dollars in added value last year. Building on that model, researchers and industry partners have created the Meat 3G system designed for European breeds and production practices using an international database. The system predicts eating quality, tenderness, flavor, juiciness, and overall liking based on factors from animal genetics to carcass traits and cooking methods. Meat 3G has been tested worldwide and is already being used in France to support premium beef brands and improve farmer returns. Economic studies show it can add up to 55 cents per kilo for producers. The system's overseen by the International Meat 3G Foundation with new UN recommendations built around it. And for Shannon Dean, I'm Todd Mitchell on the Dakota Farm and Ranch Report.
KFYR, your ag authority.
What time is it? Chumba time. ChumbaCasino.com is the online social casino with over 100 free games. Play anytime, anywhere for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
When I met both of them, it was like my missing pieces were found. Like it was just like an instant, these are my kids. If you're considering adopting a teen, just do it. Kids need families. I don't care the age. Everybody deserves a family.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
In the history of cinema, few films have been as successful as The Godfather. Francis Ford Coppola's gangster epic set a new standard not just for movies about the mafia, but for movies in general. Although, if you talk to the people who made it, The Godfather's prospects for success were far from assured. In fact, before its release, they were pretty bleak.
And they said, we're finished, this is over. The movie's not going to work. You gotta get rid of those guys. It's a disaster.
Then Leave the Gun, Take the Cannoli. My co-host Mark Seal and I strip back the varnish of movie history and talk to never-before-heard-from sources to get at what really made the process so arduous. Leave the Gun, Take the Cannoli is based on my co-host Mark's best-selling book of the same title. And on this show, we call upon his years of research to help unpack the story behind The Godfather's birth from start to finish. We sift through innumerable accounts, many of them conflicting, and try to get to the truth of what really happened. Leave the Gun, Take the Cannoli features new and archival interviews with Francis Ford Coppola.
Yes, that was a real horse's head.
Robert Evans.
They called me the Godfather's Godfather.
James Caan.
To me, they want you to come and test. I said, test what? You got a Porsche you want me to drive around the block?
Al Ruddy.
Mom said, I got a call from these Italian guys. They want to see the movie, means there'll be a lot of trouble.
Talia Shire.
Everything was a very arduous chess game.
And many others. We still aren't entirely sure what's true and what's not, but we can promise that our 10-part series gives everyone who is involved a chance to tell their side of the story. Listen and subscribe to Leave the Gun, Take the Cannoli.
Listen on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and listen now.
Fire.
Fox News, I'm Therese Crowley. Friday the 13th, day 13 of the search for Nancy Guthrie. The FBI releasing a suspect description from the Nest Cam images of an armed masked man on her porch, 5'9" or 10", average build, wearing a backpack sold only at Walmart. The Pima County Sheriff controlling DNA testing on a suspect glove found in her home.
Two sources telling Fox that the FBI wanted to send physical evidence to its National Crime Lab in Quantico, Virginia, but the sheriff insisted on processing that evidence at a lab that the Sheriff's Department is in control of.
Fox's Jonathan Hunt. Homeland Security likely to go into government shutdown after a Senate funding vote failed over ICE reforms that Democrats demanded, then voted down. Inflation cooled more than expected last month. The CPI for January just 0.2%, 2.4 for the year. America's listening to Fox News.
iHeartRadio.
Olympics update.
The quad god Ilya Malinin returns to the ice today, aiming for gold in the men's free skate final. Malinin says he'll stay focused on each element.
I'm really just going to take everything nice and slow, one step at a time, and not get too ahead of myself.
The 21-year-old is the favorite to win gold after topping the short program. Meanwhile, in action yesterday, snowboarder Chloe Kim won silver in the halfpipe final.
For NBC's live coverage from Italy, search Olympics on the free iHeartRadio app.
I'm Dr. Steve Nagel. I own and operate 180 Health Solutions, your health restoration clinic.
My name is Cindy Heyer, and I'm a Bismarck, North Dakota resident. I had been dieting on and off for over 20 plus years, and I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I made an appointment, came in, got the testing done, found out I had Hashimoto's. With the Hashimoto's, it was an autoimmune disease, and I just knew that from the research that it was hard to lose weight. I wanted it to be the last thing I ever did for my health. And so I just made a commitment that I was going to really just run with it and just trust the process, no matter how hard it was, because it wasn't easy, but it was the best thing I ever did. And I will tell anybody all day long that I owe 180 my life.
I'm Dr. Steve Nagel from 180 Health Solutions. We test, we don't guess.
Build your team, build it sooner. Beat your match on ZipRecruiter.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. All your roles, fill them sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free, and you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner.
Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
David was in big trouble with the IRS.
At first, I didn't owe that much, but after this year, it was out of control.
Then David called Get a Tax Lawyer.
Right away, they were like, oh yeah, looks like you're qualified to say
Get a Tax Lawyer went to work.
Should have called way sooner.
Get a Tax Lawyer has helped thousands like David fight the IRS and get a fresh start.
Call 800-745-3070. That's 800-745-3070.
This report is sponsored by the Our American Stories podcast.
This is Lee Habib, host of Our American Stories. On our next episode, we'll share the story of how one of America's great business leaders got his start as a paperboy. You won't want to miss the next episode of Our American Stories.
Here's your AccuWeather forecast. Today, mostly sunny with a high of 53. Then tonight, mainly clear, low 26. Tomorrow, sun and some clouds, high 52. Then on Sunday, mostly cloudy with a high of 54. Sun returns Monday, high 47. And on Tuesday, cloudy and windy with snow and rain at times, high 41. Know how it really feels outside of with AccuWeather Real Feel Temperature. Download our free app or visit AccuWeather.com. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm Nicole Joniak.
24 at Bismarck and KFYR 550. Clay back with guns in the 701 in just a moment. And Dakota Mornings without Michael Bell after 9.
If you know, you know. Scotty's Secret Fries. Limited time only at Scotty's in Bismarck.
Attention farmers and ranchers, Kiss Livestock Auction will be holding a stock cow and bred heifer sale Saturday, February 14th at 12 noon with a lineup of several sets of good bred cows and reputable heifers. Buy your cows, not flowers. Listed are 1,000 head, consisting of a dispersion of 130 black cows, dispersion of 40 mixed cows, 55 black home-raised heifers bred Black Angus, 150 black Baldy heifers bred Black Angus, 120 home-raised heifers bred Black Angus, 100 black heifers bred Black Angus, 125 black cows bred Black Angus, 50 black cows bred Black Angus, plus several other consignments of groups of cows and heifers. Internet bidding will be available through Cattle USA. All bred cows and heifers need to be pre-consigned and will be vet checked prior to sale time and need to be in the Kiss yards by noon Friday, February 13th. No exceptions. For more information, give Kiss Livestock a call, 701-663-9573.
We're from North Dakota, where 12,000 workers bring electricity to 2 million customers and provide over $5 billion in economic activity to the state while reclaiming 22,000 acres of land. This is coal country.
Visit LakeNight.com to learn more.
J&K Grain Bin Sales and Construction is a North Dakota grown 3-generation family business with over 45 years of experience. J&K Grain Bin Sales and Construction is proud to be one of the top AGI West Steel grain bin dealers. J&K will not only sell you your grain bin and drying equipment, we install and service what we sell. Are you in need of any grain bin storage or drying equipment? Call J&K Grain Bin Sales and Construction for a bid and let's talk. Call Kyle at 701-391-0797.
Mitchell in the Morning is powered by SchwannBuickGMC.com. North Dakota's #1 Buick dealer. Schwann is your locally owned and family-operated GMC dealership. Discover the power of GMC models with Schwann's commitment to excellence. Enjoy peace of mind, drive with confidence. Get the details at SchwannBuickGMC.com. Make sure to follow Schwann's Facebook page for inventory updates, fun giveaways, and more. Schwann Buick GMC on the Strip, Memorial Highway in Mandan, and at SchwannBuickGMC.com.
Attention cattlemen, plan to attend TNT Simmental's 41st Annual Explosive Difference Sale, Friday, February 13th at 1 p.m. at the Herbley Ranch in Lair, offering 133 red and black outstanding Simmental and Sim Angus yearling bulls, along with 60 registered bred heifers. They are thick and deep with no creep feed, all backed by the TNT 100% guarantee. For the explosive difference in your calves, plan to attend the TNT Simmental's Bull and Female Sale, Friday, February 13th at 1 p.m. in Lair, North Dakota.
Running for office means having something important to say. Radio is the most personal medium out there. Voters hear the real you, exactly the way you want to be heard. No filters, no AI, just your voice, your message. And it's 1/10 the time and cost of video. Don't just campaign. Connect with millions all over the country, even thousands in the smallest communities with radio. Be on the air in just 48 hours. Visit winwithiheart.com. That's winwithiheart.com. You'll use the radio in your car more than anything else. When buying a new car, make sure the AM/FM is simple, clear, and convenient.
843 KFYR Guns of the 701. Wyoming self-defense bill rejected. Clay Peterson's on with me here. Guns of the 701. Why would Wyoming not want to defend themselves?
Oh, well, it had more to do with you can defend yourself, but this bill is interesting, and I've seen this in other states where if you use your firearm in, say, like a stand your ground situation to defend yourself, you can still and most likely will be charged. I mean, I always tell people, just be prepared for that. Generally, after a review, nothing happens, or even the police will probably let you. If it's a true determination of self-defense, most officers will say, okay, we got to present this, but most likely...
Right, a charge is not a conviction. But
correct, yeah.
That said, it's like, let the process play out, but yeah.
But if they do, and you end up going to court, that can be financially devastating. It really can be.
Oh, my God, yeah.
And that's what this bill was about, essentially. It's kind of like tort reform in a way, where if you get sued, you have the right to then make them pay for your expenses. Well, that's what this basically was. It's like if in the state of Wyoming, if you get charged and you're found not guilty by a jury of your peers, that's our system, whether people like it or not, then the state or whoever brought the charges have to pay for your defense. And why shouldn't they? I mean, you have a right to be charged. They have a right to prosecute you. The funny thing is they've got the taxpayers funding that through a DA and state's attorneys, and you have nothing. You have to go use your own money to defend yourself when you're not guilty. And I can't imagine too many people that in that self-defense situation are out to murder anybody. They just aren't. Most gun owners like myself, we don't want to shoot nobody. We don't want to have to do it. So you're making a pretty tough decision when you do it. Well, should have sailed through, but right now, Wyoming's in a budget session, essentially. And they got some weird rules sometimes. You got to have a 2/3 support on just about every bill that comes through that. So
how do they get anything done?
They're not getting much done. I've been watching them. You look at South Dakota. South Dakota's kicking their butt getting stuff done. I'm over Wyoming. But 29-32, it failed. That was House Bill 14. So it didn't even get a simple majority. So it did fail. The sponsor said that it's a great bill for a person who'd have to defend themselves, and it wouldn't have barred people from being investigated in a use of force incident, which is true. Investigations can still carry on, but if they decided that there was enough evidence to charge you, and as we'd never see the judicial side of things, be used as lawfare, would we?
No.
So if you're in
legislation from the bench, no,
yeah.
Never heard of it.
I can see that happening, even in North Dakota or South Dakota, in these bigger blue areas of our state, saying with a liberal judge or liberal state's attorney, they're just like, nope, we're going to do it. And I do know, unfortunately, state's attorneys that have said, well, we wanted all the evidence to come out, so we charged him anyway, even though it was circumstantial. It's like, really? So you destroyed a person's financial life, his reputation, because you just wanted to see where it went? Yeah, no, I'm not for that. And the opposition, the biggest guy was Representative Art Washup. He's out of Casper. He first starts out by, you'll watch his basically statement. And, I'm a former law enforcement guy, and I was also a firearms instructor. You had to give himself credentials first, which mean nothing to me. Make your point. Jury trials are unique experiences, and sometimes juries render verdicts that take you by surprise. That was one of his things he said. Yep. I really worry that we put a terrible chilling effect on our prosecutors. And he basically said that sometimes they get acquittals, even though all of the cops and all of the lawyers did the right thing. Well, did they? Because a jury of your peers, which is a constitutional right, said, no, you guys were wrong. No, I'm not saying every jury gets it right.
No.
Yeah, I'm sitting there going, so you got a guy that was in opposition to this because he thinks that juries get it wrong, obviously, quite a few times. He's worried about that, which is not true in most cases. So I don't really think much of this guy. And if you go look at his voting record, yeah, he's got an R by his name, but he's purplish. Let's just say that.
His R stands for really?
Sometimes, yeah. It's sometimes. So, it'll be interesting. They've also got a bill out there that's actually going to, it's a campus carry bill. Got a ton of support. It really does out there. We'll see where that one goes. But with this 2/3 threshold, man, I don't know. Some of these bills, I think they're gonna come up against a brick wall, because even in Wyoming, this campus carry thing is 50-50 as far as in the public eye and maybe in the legislature, which I think is absurd. It just makes a soft zone, just like a gun-free zone. I mean, they got rid of gun-free zones in the state, as far as the declaration of it, kind of like the suppressor law in South Dakota. But they made that statement, but they still are these universities have a grip. They do, and they got don't fool yourselves. Everyone, universities lobby at your state legislature just as hard as anybody else for dumb things.
849 and KFYR.
Get it right.
Clay's here, guns with the 701. We'll have to do these last few kind of quick, I guess, because we're short on time. But I do want to make sure we hit on, because South Dakota is the first state.
Yes, I actually covered it Wednesday night, but I can do this one fast. So Senate Bill 2, how often, Todd, do you get a House and a Senate that go unanimous? Well, it happened in South Dakota. I mean, they started this thing. It was first read on January 13th, okay? And then it was signed on the governor's desk February 10th, not even a month. That's fast in the world of legislature. And I love it. They basically come out and said, hey, we do no longer do we call suppressors a regulated weapon, is what it basically says. Yes, the feds still do. Yes, the NFA is still in effect for a suppressor. The tax stamp is zeroed out, which is going to be a huge, it's going to give you a ton of standing in court as that moves through. But the state of South Dakota says, no, we're not going to call them a dangerous weapon essentially anymore. What does that mean? Not a lot, other than the fact that the state's not going to call it anything. And they shouldn't. They're recognizing that it's a hearing protection device. And every single senator and House of Representative member in the state of South Dakota passed this thing. Senate was 34-0. Awesome. House ended up being 66-0, unanimous, went to the governor. He signed it. And I know that Brandon Maddox pushed this pretty hard from Silencer Code, but I'm telling you, what a victory. And North Dakota, please listen up, all of you in the legislature. We need the same thing. We've done things like this before. I testified on one of Luke Simons' bills. That went through, similar to Montana, about the production of firearms in the state. So I love it. Kudos to South Dakota. Once again, South Dakota has been leading the way, along with Wyoming, on protection of the Second Amendment. So it's a good lesson for anybody that holds those seats.
You could make stealing a child's wheelchair a first-degree felony and put a bill out there, and it would still not be unanimous. There'd still be somebody voting against it.
I would never expect it unanimous. And here's what's interesting. In South Dakota, they don't have near the Republican majority in their legislature that North Dakota does.
Right.
Here you have in South Dakota probably truer conservatives within the party. And you still got, honestly, moderate Democrats. I mean, I worked down in that area a long time. The Democrats weren't near as crazy as a lot of them I see in North Dakota, and we're Second Amendment supporters. And to see this unanimously, that is a true bipartisan support. I don't think you could see that in North Dakota. I really don't. I don't see it ever being unanimous. I could see it passing. I don't see it ever being unanimous.
Okay, we'll have to hit this one real quick, but we said we'd bring it up, and we have to because, I mean, Canada, they got rid of guns, but they had a mass shooting. What the heck?
Horribly mass shooting, then I hate that term too because every shooting is a mass shooting as far as I'm concerned. It's bad, right? Shootings are bad. And it's not uniquely American. We've said that for years. It's not true. They just don't report it, all the other ones. I mean, we had Bondi Beach. That one made the news. But we've had several others. Canada's had them themselves. Britain's had them, and that's just in the last year in Britain. So they aren't unique to United States. But we had it happen. 10 people, unfortunately, were involved in this. It was a woman shooter. Now, this article doesn't say it, but it kind of sounds like it probably had a mentally ill transgender person in there that was, which we called them different names back in my day. But anyway, it was a woman. She evidently had some mental issues anyway as she killed people for no one knows the motive yet. So that hasn't come out. But Canada has some of the toughest gun laws, as we talked about earlier, but yet here it still happened, and they haven't released what firearm it is, which tells me that it probably isn't fitting a narrative, because that's usually how that goes. If it was an AR, that would have been the headline.
Oh, no doubt.
It's not.
No doubt.
So Canada has some of the strictest registration and gun laws, and boom, nothing. You don't hear anything, and it happened. So gun laws don't work, gun control don't work, gun confiscation don't work, and Canada just proved that. So,
Clay Peterson goes to the 701. You're on what, Wednesday nights, right?
Wednesday nights, but starting next week because of Lent, because I like to go to my church services on Wednesday nights. We will be moving to Thursday for the next 6 weeks, same time, 7 o'clock p.m. Mountain, 8 o'clock Central. Thursday nights, we did it last year. Everybody seemed to figure that one out because we have smart viewers and listeners. Come on,
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
And by the way, 701 Marksman, first episode, February 22nd, and that is going to be happening with David Stedding, and that guy's just awesome, and it's going to be a great show. You don't want to miss that, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain on February 22nd on all of our outlets.
You're witnessing the growth of the 701 World Empire before your ears right here.
The Empire.
KFYR 5. All right, Clay, good talking to you, man. Have a good weekend.
Yep. You too. I think I'm going to get out there on the range and put some freedom seeds down range. I mean, it's beautiful this weekend.
Freedom seeds.
Freedom seeds from Freedom Rods. There we go.
Love it. All right, have a good one. Happy birthday, Valerie Warner.